My name's Stephanie Littlewood. I'm the Market Readiness Team Lead within the Product Department within Fairphone, and I work with a team that looks after devices once they've launched in the market till their end of life. But we also work with network operators to implement their technical requirements within the software within the devices.
I am Agnes Crepet. I've been working at Fairphone for 8 years now, and I'm leading the software engineering team.
I'm Karsten. I've been at Fairphone now for 8.5 years, slightly longer. I'm leading the software longevity team, focused on the longevity of our Android devices.
So planned obsolescence is when a company builds in end of life for a product that they're selling on the market.
1.4 billions of phones are sold every year. So this is a lot. Of course, some people are willing to change the phone every year, okay, but if the phone is difficult to repair, if you don't have software support for a long period, of course, it's really difficult to keep your phone.
If a customer is only able to keep their product for a short period of time, the carbon footprint of the product is very, very high. If a customer is able to keep their product for a lot longer, the carbon footprint lowers, and that reduces the environmental impact on the earth, the resources that we're taking out of the earth to build that product.
This is the DNA of what we do. We want to make sure that people are keeping their phone because this is super expensive from an environmental point of view to build a phone.
The Fairphone 3 launched in 2019, and when we launched the device, we went out with a promise of 5 years of software support, but also 5 years of spare parts sales. We were able to extend that to 7 years of software support and 7 years of spare parts sales.
So that's the software, but it's also things like schematics, so that people can actually really understand how the hardware is working and really debug on a really low level, take apart the phone and experiment with the components in there.
8 years of software support on a device means that your device is kept secure for the full 8 years, meaning that any security vulnerabilities that might become available during that period are provided as a patch within the software update for you. And we might provide some new feature updates. Also, we will provide Android upgrades as per our external promise for the product.
There's a lot of benefits in there. The way security and privacy are designed in the Android system just improves a lot every year. New apps typically will stop functioning at some point on older Android versions. For example, banking apps are one of the examples that have relatively high requirements because they require a secure and known environment.
So that means that, as we discussed before, some apps with higher security requirements might stop working. But also we will stop, from a hardware perspective, our spare parts sales. We will stop customer support for the device. And our repair center will also be closed.
So the longevity for us is really from the origin of Fairphone as a company. It's really at core. At the same time, with the company that we've built up now, you also see that we really have a customer base who is demanding this. On the Fairphone 3, we at this point still have 40% of the customers that ever bought a phone are still active.
40% of Fairphone 3 users means that we've achieved what we set out to do. It means that we were able to provide our customers with the software support and functionality that they wanted and needed, but also we were able to provide them with the hardware that they needed to keep their device.
For the Android 13 update on Fairphone 3, we were not able to fully support the fingerprint sensor anymore because the requirements that were there from the Android and Google security testing just showed that it doesn't live up to modern security standards. And this is really complicated because we did not build the Fairphone 3 with the idea in mind that the fingerprint sensor would be modular. So it's not possible to switch out the hardware. And in the end, it was not feasible to increase the security standards on this old hardware enough to really comply with the modern Android requirements.
So we had to change the security level of our Android BCR, this biometric compliance. So in the end, we did manage to do the upgrades, but it was really, really difficult to do it. And now it's a bit better because we try to do this before launching a phone, before choosing the components. When we do a supplier selection, we meet several suppliers and we try to pick up the one who is best on longevity.
Displays are quite an important part of a device, as you can imagine. And at one stage during the Fairphone 3, we had a display gap for us to be able to provide the display as a spare part to our end customers. We thought of all the ways that we could to obtain extra displays from the supplier. We also even had an internal reach for Fairphone employees to hand in any Fairphone 3s that they were using so that we could take the displays and refurbish them and reuse them as spare parts for end customers. One of the last shipments that we had for displays coming in for the Fairphone 3 that we were able to finally obtain reached our distribution center with damaged packaging, which then meant that we could not sell those to end customers.
The Fairphone 2, we officially supported 2 separate operating systems from our side. The one is, what's often called vanilla or Android. It comes with the Google apps. It's a standard Android flavor that you would expect. You have your Play Store on there, your Chrome browser. But besides this, we also did what we called Fairphone Open. And this is really a bare bones stripped down Android. You have, really the Android system. And everything on top of this, you would take care of yourself. So install your own app store, your own browser, messaging, phone app. So you could really start from scratch there. That was a great story for us back then, and a great interaction with the community to allow people to also just experiment on their phone, to open up even more than what the standard Android would allow us. At the same time, though, we got a lot of feedback that if we do such a thing, a second alternative operating system, then people would actually want to have a complete customer experience. Like, they want to have a complete set of apps that is working out of the box. Back then in the Fairphone Open, you would need to do a lot as a user to actually get it function complete, which is good for certain audiences, but for the main user base, it's really like too much effort. Or it also needs too much technical knowledge. So what we learned from this is it was a bit of a too big project for us to draft internally. Instead, though, there are those projects out there that are already doing this. So instead of doing the Fairphone Open, we officially co-work with Morena to support the EOS on all of our devices. And people are now able to buy our devices directly from our own shop as well, with EOS pre-installed. So this is privacy by design. It's independent of Google services. And Morena, their goal is really to design the system in a way that you get the complete out-of-box experience. You have all the apps in there that you want. You get your app store in there, but you are independent of the regular monopolies on the market.
We are also supporting Linear Edge post-Market OS. Post-Market OS is Linux-based, so this is not a fork of Android like iOS. And perhaps it's not out of the box yet. We know that perhaps it's not for my dad, who can easily use iOS, for example. It's a bit more difficult, more for the tech-savvy people. But we want to still nurturing those kind of communities, because this is super important for the independency of the software.
After it's launched is always a trade-off. It's always understanding the hardware capabilities that are in the device versus the improvements that you can make in the device. And we can only go as far as the hardware will allow us to go.
So you spoke about Fairphone 3, but if we take the example of Fairphone 4, we gave a gift to our users. You remember that? I think it was 3 years after the launch of the device. The device was launched in 2021, and 3 years after, in 2024, we roll out not only an upgrade, but also a camera upgrade. And we are not obliged to do that, right? The camera was working, but we wanted to improve the experience. We wanted to make sure that the people will be happy to keep their phone longer.
This is an example of us improving the quality of a device while it's in the market so that people will want to use their device for longer.